first, we must see it. See the truth about how you relate to money. See the truth about where your money mindset comes from. This is where everything begins to shift. Not in your bank account, not in your business, but in the voice inside your head. This is where we start, not with strategy, but with the story, your internal story about money. Because if you can't see the story clearly, you can't shift it. Now, if you haven't downloaded your workbook yet, go ahead, pause the video here and grab it. We're going to be using this workbook starting right now. Take a look at the Identity Loop journal prompt in your workbook, and I want you to start writing. Now really, don't skip this part. Research shows that writing information by hand, or at least typing it, leads to deeper processing that shows a better understanding than if you just read or watch a video. Writing activates multiple regions of the brain, linking emotion, cognition, and motor function. In other words, if you want this stuff to stick, if you want a real transformation in the way you think about money, and you really want to shift the way you talk to yourself about money, which is, I'm thinking, probably why you're here, you got to do the work. So back to the workbook. What are 3 common thoughts I have when I think about money? Where do those thoughts come from? Who or what taught me to think that way? Go ahead and pause me now and start writing your answers. All right, welcome back. If you didn't pause me, write the answers, and then come back. Before we go any further, I need you to know something. I'm not some guru sitting on a hill on top of a pile of money or something. This stuff is personal. I've had to do this work again and again because I've lived the patterns. I've hit the walls. I've had the moments where I lost everything and I realized it wasn't about money, it was about me. That's why I created this program. Not because I've mastered it perfectly, but because I've worked for every ounce of transformation in it. And I'm still working on this, trust me. So I'm not just teaching this, I'm walking it with you. In my 20s, I made $1 million. I had the house, the car, the views, the fancy lifestyle, and on the outside, I looked like I had made it. But inside, I felt worthless. I didn't believe I had any value beyond what I produced. I was still trying to prove I deserved to be in the room. Still waiting for someone to say, "You're enough now." So I sabotaged, subconsciously. I started making reckless decisions and I blew money just to feel something. I didn't trust the success because I didn't feel success inside. I didn't know it at the time, but my nervous system was screaming, "This isn't safe." And it wasn't, because nothing feels safe when you think you are the problem. Eventually, I lost it all. Not because I wasn't smart or capable, but because I couldn't hold on to what I didn't believe I deserved. And that's what taught me the truth. You can earn millions, you can scale the business, you can win all the awards. But if your identity hasn't shifted, you will always find a way to match what you really believe you deserve. We need to uncover the way you think about money. It's time to see, really see, maybe for your first time, how you talk to yourself about money. It's time to uncover what I call your loop language around money. Okay, time for a bit more reflection in the workbook. Answer the following questions. Have you ever made more money but still felt broke, stressed, or unsafe? Describe that moment. What did you believe about yourself at the time? What stories do you tell yourself about money over and over again? For example, "I'm no good with money," or "I can never seem to make enough." Go ahead, hit pause, answer in your book. All right, welcome back. I hope you're starting to uncover some little tidbits about how you talk to yourself about money. No need to judge yourself. For now, we're just looking for patterns. We're just seeing the money story you tell yourself. That story is often written long before we know it's there. By age 7, most of your beliefs about money are formed, not by logic, not by books, but by watching your parents, by hearing things like, "We can't afford that. Rich people are greedy. Money doesn't grow on trees." And those beliefs don't just stay as cute little kid thoughts, they become your default programming. And unless you upgrade that voice, it doesn't matter how much you make, you will always find a way to match what you believe you deserve, just like I did in my story. So now let's look at your childhood money script. Write down 3 to 5 money phrases you remember hearing growing up. The prompt is there in your workbook. What story did you start to believe because of those phrases? How is that story still affecting your money behavior today? All right, pause now and answer in your book. Okay, welcome back. These money stories are so powerful, and a lot of times they're subtle and sneaky and we don't even see them, which gives them even more power. Let me show you how this works in the wild. Did you know over 70% of lotto winners lose all their money or even go bankrupt within just a few years of winning? 70%. That's not just bad luck. That's identity whiplash. They went from survival mode to millions overnight, but their internal thermostat never shifted. Their belief about what they deserve is still stuck in scarcity, stress, or struggle. So even though their bank account changed, their self-image didn't. And the money, it had to go because it didn't match their inner story. And that's what happens to all of us. Your life will always reorganize itself to stay consistent with your self-concept. This is so important, I'm going to repeat it. If you get nothing else out of today, I want you to internalize this main point. My entire life changed when I learned this universal truth. Here it goes again. Your life will always reorganize itself to stay consistent with your self-concept. Not your vision board, not your income goal, your identity. That's why this work matters. If you don't shift what you believe you're safe to have, you'll unconsciously spend, shrink, or sabotage to get back to normal. Okay, back to your workbook. Have you ever hit a big financial milestone and then somehow lost momentum, overspent, or got derailed? Describe that moment. What did it trigger inside you? Hit pause, do the work, come back to me. All right, you're back. Are you starting to gather some insights about your money stories? The story gets even louder when you look at pop culture. Think about it. The Little Mermaid. Ursula is rich, powerful, manipulative, and evil. Titanic. The rich people are cold, arrogant, disconnected. The poor, they're full of heart. They're having a blast down below. Succession. Billionaires are morally bankrupt. And my favorite, The White Lotus. Wealthy people, lounging in luxury, deeply unhappy, self-absorbed, toxic. Meanwhile, the hotel staff are working hard, struggling, and they show more depth, empathy, and humanity. You've been marinating in the belief that money corrupts, that wealth must mean someone got hurt or cheated or sold out. And even if you consciously say, I want to be rich, there's a subconscious part of you going, not like them. So you start sabotaging yourself in ways that feel noble. Undercharging, overgiving, avoiding sales, feeling guilty when it's good. Answer these questions in your book. Who are the rich villains from your childhood? What did they teach you to fear about wealth? What part of your money behavior might be trying to prove you're nothing like them? Hit pause, answer, take your time, do the work. Okay, you're back. I want you to get brutally honest with yourself here. What is the money movie that's been playing in the background of your life? Are you the one who always just gets by? Are you the hard worker who never quite makes it? Are you the generous one who never keeps anything for yourself? Are you the black sheep in a family that resents success? We don't get what we want, we get what we expect. And most of us are still living out roles that were handed to us by other people's limitations. We don't have to accept that. Let's go a little further in the workbook. Who have you been cast as in your money story? What role are you tired of playing? Who do you want to become instead? You know the drill. Pause and answer, and I'll see you in a minute. All right, you're back. Let's break this down through the lens of your brain. The brain's primary job is to keep you alive and safe and familiar. It doesn't prioritize what's best for your growth. It prioritizes what's most predictable, which is code for safe. Your brain just wants to keep you safe. Your brain is constantly looking for evidence to prove its own beliefs. So if you believe money is hard to hold on to, your brain will literally filter out proof to the contrary. You'll ignore the ease. You'll dismiss the abundance. You'll focus on the one client who ghosted you, the one investment that didn't work. You won't just think your way into your old pattern. You'll neurochemically reinforce it. So let's reboot that thinking with your workbook. What money belief have you been repeating lately? List 3 ways that your brain has been gathering proof that it's true. Now, list 3 pieces of opposite evidence that you've been ignoring. What would you shift if you started looking for more of that? Pause to answer. See you in a minute. All right, now let's make this real. Here are 3 patterns I see over and over. Number 1, the earn and burn loop. You make money, but you can't seem to keep it. When you get ahead, something always happens. The tax bill, the emergency, the splurge. Why? Because your system believes you're not safe with overflow. The second one is what I call the martyr pattern. You're generous, you're always giving, but you resent people that don't give back. You've been praised for sacrifice, so money and self-worth, they somehow got tangled. It feels wrong to make more than others in your circle, especially if they're struggling. Number 3 is the invisible earner. You're working, you're producing, you're building, but you don't talk about your rates, you discount before people ask, and you certainly don't want to be pushy. Deep down, it's not about business, it's about identity. You don't believe it's safe to be seen as powerful. Any of those sound familiar? If so, you're not broken. You're just caught up in a loop that isn't serving you. The way your brain was wired, you didn't choose that. But now that you can see it, it's your responsibility to interrupt the loop. See it isn't just about noticing the story. It's about naming it. It's about interrupting it. It's about refusing to live by it anymore if it's not serving you. So here's what I want you to do right now. Answer these prompts in your journal. The money story I inherited is, the money identity I've lived out is, the pattern I keep repeating with money is, and I'm ready to see it for what it is, a story, not a sentence. Because seeing it clearly, it's the beginning of reclaiming your power. Go ahead, pause now. Hello again. Here's one more tool to anchor this work. It's called the Money Talk Tracker. Here's how it works. For the next 7 days, anytime you feel a tight response around money, checking your account, quoting your prices, maybe making a big decision, receiving a compliment about your success, anytime you feel that tight response and any of those things might be happening, I want you to pause. Write it down. Describe what happened and what voice showed up. Was the voice saying, this is too much? Was it, don't get greedy? Was it, you don't deserve this? Was it any of that? The voice is the pattern. In that moment, When you pause, that's a direct window into your money story. Because money mindset isn't just what you think when it's calm, it's what shows up when you're off balance. That's the real access point for transformation. So I want you to create a journal page with these 4 columns. And you can use your workbook. It's got the 4 columns. Date, trigger moment, emotional reaction, and then the old story that got activated. I want you to use this tracker for the next 7 days. Just observe, no judgment. Because what you witness, you can interrupt. And what you interrupt, you can shift. So start tracking those micro moments. Don't judge them, just witness them. Because what you witness, yes, you can interrupt. Now, let's breathe this in. You've spent decades reacting to an invisible story. But today, you just made it visible. And that alone is enough to change everything. Because clarity is the beginning of choice. You don't have to keep performing for peace. You don't have to keep proving you're worthy of abundance. You already are. And you don't have to wait for permission to rewrite the narrative. You just need to see it, own it next, and then shift it for good. Most people try to change their bank account without ever changing their beliefs. They copy someone else's business strategy. They build a budget they hate. They hustle their way into more money, but it still feels like lack. That ends here. We're not chasing wealth. We're becoming aligned with it. We're not performing for prosperity. We're inviting it in from truth. And that starts by seeing every loop, every belief, every old identity, and calling it what it is, a story that kept you safe, but not one that will get you free. Your power is not in your past. It's in your pattern recognition. And now that you've seen it, there's no going back. This is the work that will change your life. This is the moment your relationship with money shifts from fear to choice, from reaction to response, from sabotage to sovereignty. And next, we're going to own it. See you there.